So it has been a while since I've posted on Birch and Bear. Been busy, haven't had as much time out here at the property as I had last year. Also, it's been kind of muggy and hot, which today, I think right now it's in the 70s, so I'm trying to get some stuff done while I can. But for those of you that have seen the DR field and brush mower, I think it's been a couple weeks ago, took delivery of a brand new TYM 2515. It's the H, which is the hydrostatic model. And so I've already got a couple accessories put on here, but what I am doing this morning is I came across cage stands, and it's essentially a platform, an 8-foot tall platform that you can put a ground blind on top of it. It's got a ladder, a platform, so that way you can get in and out. I have a Tidewee, one of the ones that you can see through like all three sides, kind of top to bottom, left to right. It's a little bit bigger than this platform, so we'll see if I need to put some angle iron on the edge of it, or if I can do a little bit of redneck engineering on it to get it up on there. But the challenge with this, even with the tractor, I got a lot of fall here at the property, and it's probably from where I'm at to the bottom of the drainage about 70 feet. So I've already taken one load back in before I actually had the tractor, but using the tractor this morning to get the platform pieces at least back to the point where I can go down the trail, which was one of the first I think episodes that I had trying to mow to figure out how to get back in here. I haven't had one season of hunting. I have 3 ladder stands that are back there. But this is what I'm going to do this morning. Hoping to at least get 2 trips and get it all the way back into where I want to have it. I have the first loads not quite all the way back there. I just have to go down and up one smaller drainage back there to get it. I've already taken the steel combi unit. And what I've found is I don't use the weed eater. I actually use the hedge trimmer. Is really good for cutting trails back in here. It's the hedge trimmer with the articulating head. So I'll have to touch them up here and there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this. I have a Western style backpack with a meat shelf and stuff. See if I can get that loaded on there and then not bust my butt going down the drainage. So maybe I'll pick you back up once I've got the backpack loaded up and part of the way down the trail. All right. Got it on my back as I walk through a spider web. Sticks up there a ways. Trying to miss the canopy where I can, but also trying to miss the spider webs where I can. The spiders are harmless. They're not gonna really hurt me, but don't really love the feeling of getting a spider web in my face. That sucks. So I ended up bringing 2 of the 3 pieces of the platform back, just from like a safety standpoint. Steph and the kids are out here with me, but my concern is another spider. If I eat it on one of these drainages, ducking, most likely I would probably get hurt with the more weight I have on my back. I do have trail cam here and there. Obviously the corn won't be here as season approaches. because that's not legal in Indiana. But for trail cam pics to see what's out here, that's all fair game. That camera there, it's been, I think maybe 2 weeks ago now, sometime in the middle of the night. I don't remember taking it slow. I got a little drainage here, mini drainage. We had a bobcat on camera, which is pretty cool. Indiana does not have oh man, spider web again. Does not have a season for bobcats. I don't know where the spider went. But it's kind of cool to see that. I grew up in the northern part of the state. Growing up, we pretty much just had whitetail up there, and then I don't know, it's been plus or minus 15 years or so ago, and then we finally started to see sorry about that, turkeys coming through. So I'm walking down a drainage, or kind of the hillside. So we'll say that's the angle. This is level. It's at least a 45. I will be working at the other side of the property, trying to get with a little less steep slope, get a trail for access for the tractor over there. So you guys may see some of that. But up north, we didn't have turkeys all that often. I have a bunch. We have a bunch of turkey down here. They now have a decent amount of turkey up in the northern end of the state. And I'm all the way at the southern end of the state, just 30 minutes north of the river. But it's cool to see bobcats down here. I wouldn't say like a giant bobcat by any stretch of the imagination, but still cool to see. Got a little 10-second video of it on the trail cam. Try not to take out that tree, but doing pretty good coming down this drainage so far. The deer seem to like coming up and down this clearing that I've made. Another spider. See if I can find the web, knock him off. So yeah, so maybe I'll flip you guys around. I did make a makeshift bridge last year down here. Give you guys a look at what that is, and maybe I'll do a time lapse kind of through the back end of this until I get to the other side. Whew, breathing hard. So that's the first load. There's the trail I was on. As you guys can see, I cut a trail. This is with the steel combi with the hedge trimming units on it. Pretty wide trail. It'll be easy to find access through it. So I got to go down that, back up a little ways, and be on the other side. All right, catching my breath. Got the rest of that first load over here. Raina got that real quick. Didn't take too long. Feeling pretty good today. Maybe I'll walk you guys up to the other camera I have up back here. One of my helpers helped yesterday with the first camera. Big spider web. Put that corn out. Takes them about a week and a half right now to eat a 50-pound bag of corn, so it's been out a couple days. And then my other little helper didn't want to walk back in the woods last night. But I got a camera there. Try not to make you guys too dizzy. And then got a trophy rock and a pile of corn there. I just put the trophy rock out yesterday too. Packed it back in with the backpack. So if you guys are doing a lot of manual bringing corn and heavy stuff backing it out, Western style backpack is the way to go. The people, well, not the people that owned it, but there was a guy that they allowed to hunt back here, I guess, for a lot of years. Had a mineral site back up over there. I back up back here, maybe about another 100-ish yards to the neighbors. So trying to pull those deer from the neighbors. I don't think they hunt. I know they mountain bike. I've reached out to him a couple times and not really responded. So then trying to pull deer further into the property. Have a list of things that I'd like to do. But it's going to take a period of a couple years, I think, to get it all done. So you got to get that trail back in. And I can carve out some trees to put a food plot. And then one of the things I'd like to do somewhere back in here is install a plastic watering tub in one of these drainage. That way it'll, when it rains really well, it'll self-fill to give them a water source back in here. There were some ponds, and then I haven't been back there because I don't own the property. There's a creek that's back in further, which I wish I backed up to, but I don't. The neighbors to my north own behind me. Who knows, maybe someday they might be willing to sell it. It looks like it's about 17 or so acres. I haven't really mapped it off with Onyx, but we'll see. So, but I've gotten some pictures of some pretty good deer back in here, a ton of turkeys. Another thing I need to do, we have a ton of cedar back in here. So I think I need to take a decent amount of those trees out. They really don't provide any habitat back in here. And that'll also open some pretty decent shooting lanes. And then keep as many of the hardwoods as I can. So I may also take some of the smaller hardwoods out. I got a bunch of 2 to 4 inch trees back in here that I can take out, maybe thin the canopy a little bit and help some of the bigger oaks. And I got some decent walnuts back in here. I got a giant maple tree on the other side of the woods. I'm going to take my wife and the kids back there maybe today. We'll see. But I'm going to hike out of here, save my breath from talking, and I'll see you guys back up at the tractor. Made it. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm going to back up, get this turned around. I'll flip you guys around and we'll go forward. So as you can see, it looks a bit different since the last video. We have travel trailer out here now, which makes it a heck of a lot easier for Steph and the kids to come out to the property. See if I can get off the tractor here. Yeah, so let me grab some water. I guess while I'm back here, a couple of the things that I've done to the TYM. Added this box in the back. It did come with the toolbox. overexposed. That's up there where the saw's at, but Amazon box. So far so good. I like it. It's nice because it's all mesh, so stuff can kind of fall through the bottom, but then you also have a little toolbox to put those things in. Did find a gas can for the chainsaw on Amazon that fit this opening. I think it's like a 7-inch wide gas can. It's a 2-gallon. Let's see. Also put these, see if I can get it to focus back, level meters on it, just because don't really want to tip one. So there's one there, that'll be my left or right. Then I got one over there, that'll be my incline, decline. And then I went for the cheaper saw holder. So I didn't realize that. I thought this thing was actually, this thing, the sheath was actually plastic. It is not, which is kind of unfortunate. I put some Velcro there just to try to save the chain, but I think as far as modifications, that's all that I've done to the tractor so far. You can see the travel trailer. I can hear the kids in there getting after it. So we got picnic table, Blackstone for out here. It's nice. There's a outdoor cooktop that's there, but Blackstone just makes it so much easier. And then I got some extra tractor attachment. So this is the Titan attachment stump bucket. It's the economy one. I kind of feel like maybe doing it all over again. I would have done the one that instead of having the point on the end, would have been the 3 teeth. I think it'd just make it easier to get in around trees to push them over. That little point wants to slide off of there, which is kind of a pain. And then off of Facebook Marketplace, I got a plow attachment. I feel like I got a really good deal on it. It was like $350. You can flip it back and forward, and the blade also has a tilt this way, which is nice if I'm trying to dig out slopes for trails. We do have, we'll call it permanent power right now. We'll have to move some stuff around, but we got a 50 amp extension cord coming back over to the permanent power that we have. So I have a panel with a 50 amp and a dual, I think that's a 20 amp circuit there with a duplex in it. And then you can see where they've came and trenched back through, working with Southeast Indiana REMC. Keith that's over there, obviously great name, but I feel like he worked really hard to come up with a cost-effective solution to get the power back here. He saved me like, I want to say like $3,000 from the original proposal that they had, because they were going to come from that pole down. The neighbor wanted it this area left up open as much as possible. He thought maybe he'd put a pole barn there at some point in time. So Keith came back out and looked at it, and so you have to have those tensioning cables there because it pulls a long way across from the pole. And so because this was such a short run to this post, this is a new post over here, they were able to save on some of the underground directional drilling to come back to a pole here. And then the main thing that saved is they were going to do a ground mounted transformer, which we don't have to do. So going to the pole mounted transformer saved a bunch of money. So it comes down that pole. They went underground. This here, I've driven over with the tractor to kind of pack it down in, and then flatten it with the box blade on the back. We'll see. It may settle some more, but, and then working on a path up here, which goes to the big maple back there, and hopefully down an easier incline slope drainage. That way we can get into the back corner of the property at the northwest. Yeah, northeast. Directions are hard sometimes, so. All right. So I skipped a few steps. Got the cage tower 8-foot stand for a blind up in the air. It wasn't too bad. Did it all in the field, put everything together. There were a few, for sure, a few bolts that I needed to pound through for alignment, but overall, super easy install. I would guess in the field, I would say four plus or minus hours. Probably the minus if you had a couple guys. I may have been around the 4-hour mark or so just myself, but what pretty damn quick, because we're on a slope back here and I'll have to dig a water outlet trench the rest of the way out, but sunk the back legs in. Everything does come with stakes to pound in the ground, and then it's got a center cable with a tie rod anchored down to the center. I will say it's pretty sturdy. See how well I do mastering the camera up the ladder. I want to say this is like supposed to support like 800 or 900 pounds, something like that. Say it feels no different than than what a tree stand would underfoot. I do think I may get, for when I sit in here, some rubber mats to put on top of this thing. I don't know, we'll see about that. But I think if I can get some of the cedars cleared up and out of here, I'll be able to shoot quite a ways. So it's hard to tell. I'm gonna say that's like maybe a 20-ish% grade drop. So it's kind of like, you know, down that way. When levels up here, so that tree that's here, I want to say level with me is probably, I don't know, 30, maybe 20-ish feet in the air. So pretty good grade drop here. I think with foliage dropped off in the fall, I'll be able to see up on the top of the bench here, which was kind of the plan, is I want to be head height level around the top of the bench. It comes back in through here, and then I think depending on what I get cleared out, I'll be able to see through the whole bottom down in here, and then The drainage comes up the other side. I have a stand, I think it's like right over in there. I'm gonna abandon that. That's at the edge of bedding. I bounced quite a few out trying to get into that stand last year. I just don't know that it's worth it. They like to lay on that side for when the sun comes up in the morning. So I think if I can clear some shooting lanes on the other side of that bench top, we'll be good. So I would say overall with the cage stand, pretty impressed for the price that you pay. For the Tide Wee, I've got some angle here just to support that extra width that it has on the platform, or on the bottom of the Tide Wee ground blind. We'll see if I need it or not. I had not brought that back here, but just based upon the measurements online between the two, which the stand was super close to that, we'll see if the Tide Wee's close to that or not, if I need it or not, but I at least have it there. I gotta cut this piece down just because the bar for the ladder landing is interfering with it, so I'll have to cut that back just a little bit. But yeah, super happy.